haven't recorded anything in so long, I haven't spoken to a camera in so long that I really do feel like I've forgotten what to do. But today we're going to be looking at someone that I really, really cannot stand. Someone that I think is one of the worst people to ever grace this internet, and that is Andrew Wilson from the Whatever podcast. The reason I want to look at him so badly is because I dislike reaction content, and he does reaction content. And I know that's hypocritical of me to say because I'm about to do reaction content. The issue with him is that he will watch videos of women saying things, listen to videos of women saying things, like listen to engaging in conversations with women, and nothing you could ever say to him would be the right thing to say. No matter who went on their podcast, it could be the greatest debater in the world. If you are anything further than centrist, as in centrist to far left, you are going to be painted out on this podcast as being an emotional woke snowflake. You are going to be the worst thing that could possibly happen to him, because you are going to be painted out as a stupid person. You are going to be, and that's the issue with him. His podcast mostly consists of women, and they come on and they talk to him about, anything from abortion, women's rights, LGBTQ rights, talking about the way women should be treated by their husbands, the way that husbands should be treated by their wives, anything like that. To reenact what the podcast looks like to me, it's this. I think that women should be completely submissive to men and that you shouldn't have any rights. Well, I actually don't agree with you because I'm a human, so I deserve human rights. There is no need to get so emotional. You're so emotional. Or you're a little baby, you're going to walk off, are you going to leave, are you going to cry? Such a woman, oh my God. That's it. That's literally all the podcast is. And I don't understand why people constantly go on it. I really don't understand why people go on this podcast all the time, because you're never going to win. You're never going to win. You could go in and make the most brilliantly thought through, eloquent points and debates. And if you show the tiniest bit of emotion or you show the tiniest bit of passion, he's going to react with a, why are you so emotional? Why are you so woke? Why are you so sensitive? Whatever. I'm rambling. I really don't like this man. Another dynamic that he has on his podcast is he'll have multiple women on, like groups of women who maybe think differently to each other, and have them communicate, because it's some kind of like cat fight, like bitch fight. That's what he wants to happen. But women are so, like the women that go on his podcast are either it's like Pearl, who I hate for my own personal reasons, or it's women who are literally just standing there saying like, I think I deserve to be treated like a human. He doesn't quite get the same level of, like, oh, you're so much, you're gonna cry, whatever, than when like there's multiple women on. That's usually when it's just him and then a guest on his podcast. But we're going to be looking at some clips today from his podcast. This may be him and one other person, or it may be groups of women. Unfortunately, the ones of groups of women get quite a lot of views, even though they're not anywhere near as educational or debate-like as his other videos. But that's just because men watch these videos, and men quite literally get off to seeing women be degraded in these kind of videos. So we're going to watch some clips. I also have to repeatedly plug in and unplug my microphone, which is super fun.
Would you rather come across a random man or a random bear in the woods?
A bear.
Okay, so bear. I'd like to hear the reasons why, starting with you.
Okay, so first things first, bears act strictly off of instinct. So usually if they attack, they're probably threatened. Human beings, we have the ability to critically and logically think. We also tend to have a moral compass. So anything a human does is significantly worse. I am much more easily going to forgive a bear for mauling a human being than I will a man for hitting a woman.
I completely agree. Just gonna put that out there. I completely agree. I too would pick bear. I'm someone who I put a lot of faith in animals. I work with dogs, and the reason I put a lot of faith in animals is because they react to how you act. If you are in the forest with a bear and you are screaming and running away, that bear is going to be frightened, and that bear might attack you, or it might run away. You have no idea. If you're in the woods with a man, and if he wants to hurt you for his own personal, disgusting, selfish wants, he's gonna do it. And it's not like you're, he doesn't feel threatened by you. He's not, as she said, acting on some kind of like natural instinct. He's acting in a disgusting, selfish way. Like the whole man and bear debate, for a lot of people, it comes down to like, what's the worst they could do? And the answer is they could both kill you. But for me, it's much more of a, why would they do that? As she said, like the same reasoning. And the reason a bear would kill you is because of the fact that they are a wild animal. And the reason a man would kill you is because he's a disgusting individual. And he's, you know, perverted and selfish and is getting off to this. That's why. And I think I'd much rather be mauled by a bear than killed by a man. Much rather. And I don't care if it's more painful. I don't care if it's more traumatic. I don't care if it's anything. I'd much rather be mauled to death by a bear than killed by a man. Anyway, I'm going to keep watching. And I'm going to try not to interrupt it too much, but it's really difficult.
Men are more dangerous because
Men are
we
more
have
dangerous than
we have a
bears?
moral compass. We know it's wrong, but people still do it.
Right, but this is assuming that in both instances, this is doing a comparison where the man attacks the woman and the bear attacks the woman.
Danger-wise?
This is assuming that in all scenarios, this woman is going to be attacked.
Again, I would forgive the bear a lot easier than I would forgive the human.
What does that have anything to do with making a risk assessment of which one is more likely to attack you? Because that is essentially what this question begs.
I guess, I don't know, you're in the forest.
Well, hold on. Let me get everybody's justification before I give my take. So, why bear?
I don't know, you're in the forest and like
Okay.
people can behave. Is that's a setting or am I wrong?
So, I think,
I don't know.
yes, you are in the forest.
Okay.
But I'm confused.
Whatever. I'm assuming wouldn't see a bear in my house or anything like that. Like, I don't know, like if it's more secluded, then I would probably buy the bear more. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, so if we're going to make considerations, if we're making considerations for where we're going to see the bear, who are the type of men you're generally going to see in the forest? Dudes who are just going camping, kind of like want to ignore society. Like they're kind of just chill guys doing bro stuff.
It doesn't matter what kind of man the man in the forest is. Do you think that chill guys who just want to be alone, like they don't mean any harm, like they're finding their like inner peace, that means that they're not going to rape someone? No, that doesn't mean shit. That doesn't mean shit. All it means is that you think that they're less of a threat. I'm probably not going to think that. I'm probably not going to think they're less of a threat. Why? Because here are the chances of being raped by a man. Here are the chances of being murdered by a man. Here are the chances of being raped by a bear. And here are the chances of being murdered by a bear. And if I'm in a forest, I'm intruding on the bear's space. If I'm in the forest and there's a man there, we're both just in the forest at the end of the day. I've been put into this forest. He's there for a reason. And you know what? He might be right. It might be because he's just going camping because he's chill. Or he might have followed me in. He might be looking to kill someone. Do you know how many murders happen in forests because they're secluded, they're out of the way? It's a fuck ton. I don't understand how him being, he's a chill guy, it doesn't matter, means that I'm not in harm's way. Because it doesn't mean that at all. Anyway, carrying on.
If you're going to run across a guy in the forest, it's probably going to be a dude that's kind of just a normal guy. So if we're going to make those considerations for the bear, we should make those considerations for the guys.
Why the bear?
Does he think that normal guys don't kill people, don't hurt people, don't rape people? Does he actually think that just a chill guy means that they're not a threat to women? Or to anyone, as a matter of fact? Oh, Your Honor, my client's just a chill guy. He can't have raped her. He's just a normal guy. Most rapists are just normal guys. Some of them are even cool, but they're still rapists.
For the past 2 months, I already had my weird, creepy, not good things with men, and I rather trust the bear right now over men.
Okay, so you had bad personal experiences in your own life.
Yes.
Ergo, you'd rather be in a forest alone with a bear versus a man.
Yes.
Okay.
Brian, I've actually changed my opinion on
Does
this.
that not?
What's your opinion?
Okay.
My opinion is I totally side with the bear now. Because I will tell you why.
All right, let's hear.
Okay. The bear is satisfied with a good meal. The woman gets to accurately play the victim. And the man has there's no ill will on his side. Nothing happened. He's not blamed for any of it.
I'd rather be food
Everyone
Everyone wins. everyone wins because another man has just gotten off scot-free, and you know, his perfect little life isn't going to be ruined by some woman making false accusations. But the woman's dead. But that's fine. Like, she's still winning because she gets to be a victim. Like, to say that after hearing a woman say, like, I've had some really bad experiences with men in the last few months, so I'm more likely to trust a bear right now, to then go out and say, don't worry, you get to be the victim. Hello? Sorry, what? I mean, that's just a level of, like, apathy that I think is hard to find in real life. You can only find that from men on the internet. You can only find that from a specific breed of men who go onto podcasts like this and try and be as tough as possible, try and be so cool. Like, the boys are going to love this. No one loves this. The only people that love this are 12-year-old boys in their basements, you know, watching on their phone going, whatever. I keep saying whatever because it's the Whatever podcast and I'm reading it in the background. Whatever.
Wins. Everyone wins.
Okay, so
There's a flaw in your logic.
Okay.
I'd rather be
Tell me.
for the
Hang on, I'll tell you the flaw.
Okay.
The flaw is that after all of the bitching, whining, and screaming from this woman who was mauled by a bear due to her own stupidity,
Okay.
some man's going to have to go out there
Fair.
and put the bear down.
Fair. You're right, Andrew.
But the bear
Again.
already got it.
So I just spent the last like 4 days up in Keene Canyon in Sequoia. And yes, I was hiking out with bears. And I was at a river and I went swimming and there was a bear like 50 yards away. It was a mom with her cub. They left me alone. I left them alone. I went swimming in the river. I took a nap on a rock. I woke up and they were gone. But when you see a man on a trail, you go like, you completely ignore them and dodge them.
Okay, so hold on. So let's just say you did that, right? Did the man chase you down and then attack you?
No, but you tend to.
Okay, but so you took an action, but it doesn't mean that like nothing happened.
Yeah.
But-
you ignored him like you
if
did
I-
the bear?
I don't really get Andrew's point there of like, after the bitching whining, someone's going to have to go out and put the bear down. No, you're not. Leave the bear alone. It's my fault I was in the forest, and I'm not victim blaming here, but if I've been put in a forest by these hypothetical men who are making me answer this question, I'm in this bear's territory. But if there's a man in the forest with me, he's coming to the forest with me. Neither of us belong in the forest. The bear belongs in the forest. I don't belong in the forest. Also, the whole like, if you're on a trail and like you see a bear, you're gonna be like whatever, but if you see a man, you're gonna go the other way. Yeah, I do that. But did he chase you down and kill you? No. But other men chase down women and kill them. Other men chase down women and kill them. Who's to say that's not going to happen to me? Like, it's much more likely that that's going to happen than a bear's going to chase me down and kill me. Because as that girl said, she was in the river and there were bears and they left her alone.
Person's thinking, right? When you sit there and you pass a bear in the woods.
But the bear's
You don't know what the
morally
bear's thinking.
predictable.
No, you pass the bear in the woods. The bear is predictable because it acts off of instinct. Humans can sit there and they can pass you and then they can come behind you and like pop you in the head or whatever the fuck.
Well, then let me ask you a question, just because you can predict bear behavior, and you're obviously very skilled at the prediction of bear behavior. If you were to, do you think, walk up to 50 random men and pat them on the head, or 50 random bears and pat them on the head, which one do you think would be more likely to fucking maul you to death?
The bear, that makes it predictable.
Hold on.
That's a completely
Question for
different
you.
situation. It's not.
Literally, like that girl said, the bears. And that's because they're predictable. If I go and poke 10 men and poke 10 wild dogs, what's gonna happen? The dogs are gonna hurt me. Because they're predictable, because they act on instinct, because I'm threatening them, I'm invading their space, I'm annoying them. So naturally, they're going to have that reaction. A man doesn't need to have that reaction. There is no need for a man to hurt you for poking them in the face. But a dog might hurt you because they act on instinct. God, I'm actually so done with this clip. I'm going to move on because it's just winding me up at this point. And that's the point of the Andrew Wilson podcast. It's to wind up women and it's to get them to react. And you know what? I don't care that I'm sitting here reacting because 600 people are going to see this video at the end of the day, aren't they? But thousands and thousands of people, millions of people have seen these clips of these women reacting. So I don't see there's any point in going on his podcast.
When there is not full disclosure of the plan of what's going to be done to me psychologically, then that is the responsibility of the person who's manipulating me.
It's really funny that you say that, because this actually is just deterring responsibility to the second party, right? So you're saying,
yes, you guys are more powerful than I am as far as damaging me psychologically, because we live in a society that has normalized the manipulation of women and their vulnerability emotionally. So I believe that you partook in that same essentially tactic of getting from me what you wanted.
Yeah, so I'm going to just like grant a couple things, right? Thing one.
I have to go to the bathroom first, and then when I come back, you can share.
Okay.
How many shots did you guys have? You had one shot?
This is my third shot.
Maybe don't. Maybe the alcohol is not a good idea.
Well, if you guys were nice, I wouldn't need it.
If we were nice, she...
Do any of you have any idea what this clip is about? Because I don't, but I think it's probably talking about emotionally dominating women and manipulating women, which is something that Andrew does all the fucking time. In this clip alone, they're giving her shots, and she says, if you guys were nicer, maybe I wouldn't have to take shots. It's because they're impossible to talk to, because they're kind of thick. But also because I wouldn't want to talk to them sober either. I really don't blame her. But they're giving her alcohol, and they're getting her into this, like... And the guy, like the mediator, says that maybe the alcohol's not the best idea. Andrew doesn't say that himself, but whatever. But what I am going to say is, I have no idea what this clip was about, but something I want to say about Andrew is that the way he talks to women is so disgusting and demeaning that he clearly hates women. And there was a clip before that was him saying, like, I don't hate women. What makes you think I hate women? And it's like, have you watched your own videos back? Have you ever listened to yourself speak for 20 seconds in any of your videos? You hate women, and you love seeing women suffer. You love seeing women being degraded. You love seeing women be put into positions of vulnerability. You love it. You get off to it. It's your fetish. It's your thing. Okay? And he'll be like, I don't hate women. And it's like, you do hate women. And you know what? And every man who watches and enjoys your videos hates women as well. And he goes, well, some of the men who watch my videos are married. Doesn't mean they don't hate women. Doesn't mean they don't hate women. They probably hate their wives, but they don't hate their wife. They hate the woman that they live with. They hate women, but they love what women can do for them. And that is the exact same with Andrew Wilson. He hates women, but he loves using women as this tool, as this instrument of his, fetish to degrade. It's weird, it's disgusting, and it's quite perverted, in my opinion. It's quite perverted, but that's just my opinion. I'm going to skip this clip because I don't know what's happening.
Andrew forces some of these women to think for the first time in their lives. Pink, don't take it seriously. We're trying to fix society here, and you're a symptom of how broken it is. Priya, wifey.
Do you want to respond?
I personally don't think that this podcast and panel is going to fix for society, but hey, to each their own.
Well, the thing is that tens of thousands of conversations which happen as a result of podcasts like this are what stimulate conversations in higher political ethos, and that...
How self-centered do you have to be to think that your shitty little podcast is gonna change the political infrastructure of the world? Because it's really not. And if it is gonna change political infrastructure of the world, it's not gonna make it better for anyone sitting in that room, or you, Andrew Wilson. Because you know what is happening is that there is mass censorship and surveillance happening at the moment, and you're going to be part of that. You're going to be part of that. Your shit's going to be censored. Your shit's going to be under surveillance. And eventually people are going to have to probably age check to be able to watch your videos. And that's going to suck for you. And I'm not going to care. It's going to suck for you. And I'm not being, hypocritical here. I doubt my videos are going to change the political structure of the world, my country, and I know that. And I know that because I am not an egotistical maniac.
Rating ourselves?
Yeah, your own self-assessment of your physical appearance.
I think I'm a 7.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess by the world standard, if I'm going to rate myself after having 2 children, I'd probably give myself an 8.
10.
I mean...
Stunning.
I'm not where I'd like to be.
I'm sorry, I thought I was muted. Okay.
What?
Huh?
What?
I mean, I'm not physically perfect, and that's okay. Like, I'm humble enough to admit that, right?
Yeah.
Why are you laughing? Enlighten me.
Andrew, why are you laughing, Andrew?
I'm being honest.
Are you thinking about
Andrew,
your wife, Andrew? Stop it.
Andrew, how dare you? How
old are you?
I'm 37.
Yeah, when you were 27, were you a 10?
I probably would have rated myself a 10. I looked pretty good.
Of course you would have. Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing, right? Is there is something, and this has been something you've been suffering from all night, called cognitive dissonance and a inability to grasp what is reality. There is no universe in which you are an 8. Now, the thing is that's not me being mean even. I'm just giving you objective reality. That is an objective standard that there's nobody on planet Earth who would disagree with that standard.
Do you want to rate yourself?
I'd be scared to now. No. Beauty is different.
He has no room to speak on other people's attractiveness. Not because I think he's unattractive, which I do, but because it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. He gets women to do this all the time. He gets them to rate themselves like 1 to 10 and then disagrees with every single one of them. Like, I'm sorry, it doesn't matter. I'm not even like annoyed at this from a place of like, you're being rude to these women, because he's being rude to these women, but like, it doesn't matter. Does it fuck? It does not matter. And he's so obsessed with it. And he always responds to people going, get the girls to rate themselves. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, there's no way you're an 8. Okay. Does it matter? Just let them be. Let them be.
No, I mean, I just think he's very opinionated man.
I'd say like a 5.5. I'm really happy with that.
Okay. All right. There you go.
I'm a 20, 25, maybe 30.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I give myself a 5. I'm a 5.
Since we're all going to be delusional tonight, I'll just go with the maximum number I can think of.
He's going max delusional.
But I've heard that 93% of our generation, mostly in college, still wants to get married, and that's exactly what we're seeing around this table. So that's just a fascinating observation. I think it's really hopeful.
Are you really seeing it around the table? Because what I'm seeing around the table is a bunch of women who are like, yeah, sure, I'll marry a dude who makes $150,000 a year and pays for all my shit. That sounds a lot different than I'm looking to get married. To me,
who said that?
That sounds different.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm curious which one of us said that.
Well, so as we're going around the table, right, what do you think that when you say a man who can support himself and is supporting himself and can support a family, if he lives in the Santa Barbara area, what do you think that would take if you had to guess?
Once again, asking the question of, does it matter? Does it matter how much money they want their future husband to make? Does it matter to me? No. Does it matter to you, Andrew? No. Does it matter to anyone watching? No. Why are you including it in your stream? Because you want to make men get angry at these women, because you want to see these women be put in positions that makes them uncomfortable. You want to see these women being degraded. You want to see these women being humiliated. Also, the whole thing of like, they're saying they want to get married, but only to a man who makes $150,000 a year. And she said, I want to know which one of us said that. There is a massive difference between I will only marry a man who makes $150,000 a year, and I want a man that knows what he's doing, that can support himself, that's got his shit together, you know? Because I don't want to get married, but if I were to be married, first of all, I'd marry my current boyfriend. Shocker to all the men who hate me and say I'm going to die single and alone. I have a boyfriend. I don't need him to make £150,000 a year, but I want him to have his shit together. I want him to be able to take care of himself. Not necessarily me as well, but himself. And he was saying, like, in the Santa Barbara area, which is an more expensive area, like, oh, how much money would he have to make? Well, their dating pool is the Santa Barbara area, so their very low expectation of a man, which is he needs to have his shit together and be able to look after himself, is probably going to be met, because he wouldn't be living in Santa Barbara if he didn't have his life together.
Probably over $300,000 a year, but we're not talking about this specific location. We're not including the fact that each of us I think everyone around the table is willing to have a 2-income household. Do you agree or do you disagree? I think partnership is everything. My dad and my stepmom, my dad is 16 years older than my stepmom. They've been together for 18 years now. he invested in her company and now she makes more money than him and she's the main provider of our household. I think
So
that
he gave her money for her company, and now her
and
company's
she's paid
doing
it
well.
all back. Her company is doing much better, or it's doing well, I mean, and now she makes more money than him and pays his mortgage. And she's also helping me pay for my college. So women
Well, yeah,
can
that's
be
great. That's called
providers.
dividends. That's called dividends. That's how that works when you invest in a company and it does well. You get money back out of it. That's
Absolutely,
how it works.
but she is a female.
He could have done that without any marriage, right?
Yeah, but I think if you find a partner who's willing to work with you and grow with you and create a sustainable life for you and a future family, I think that's an absolutely beautiful thing for both partners to have ambition. And also, I would be perfectly happy, marrying a woman who makes more money than me or less money than me, or marrying a man who makes more money than me or less money than me, as long as in our combined household we can ensure the safety of one another and we both have similar mindsets with financial planning, investments, retirement funds, college funds if we are planning to have children, Roth IRAs, that type of issue.
What about the love thing? Is that the most important factor, or the money
For
thing?
marriage?
Absolutely.
Love for marriage, is that more important than money? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Nothing in life is free. If you marry someone for the money, you earn every penny. That's what my mom would tell me when I was a kid.
I'm sure she would.
So it would be money. That's
No. The point is that if you marry someone for the money, you earn every penny because you choose a life of unhappiness.
Yeah.
I think that was the lesson she always taught me. You have to be open-minded. Not everything in life is material, and I think
Yeah, he did not want that response. He did not want her to say that. The thing is, in this day and age, in the current economic climate, you need to have a 2-income household to be classified as financially stable. You need to have a 2-income household or a fat savings to lay back on. And her whole point of I'd marry someone who, makes more than me, or that I make more, or like anything, is the whole it just doesn't matter. And Andrew seems to think it matters because he has this, I was going to say he has this like archaic view, but he actually doesn't really have this very like women should be stay-at-home mothers and men should make all the money. It's more like he wants these women to admit they're gold diggers, but they're not going to. There was one girl who kind of went, and that was the only response that was close to what he wanted. Like, that was literally it. And the whole thing of him saying, well, that's like dividends, that's like, yeah, if you put loads of money into a business, you're going to get money out of it. Like, that's how that works. He could have done that without a marriage, but he didn't. That's the point. He didn't. He fell in love with someone, married her, and then they made this business work together. She worked really hard to make the business work, and he had the money to help her make it work, and she paid him back because she loves him and because she wanted to, I assume, or because he wanted her to. Either way is fine. Like, it's not. Anyway, there's one more clip I think we're going to watch.
Avatar Gloctavius donated $200.
Oh, that's a great question,
Naima,
actually.
do you think misogyny is worse than misandry? If so, why?
Here's what we're going to do, though.
Yeah, I like that
because
question. I mean, I have a quick answer. I think they're
one
both
thing really quick.
equally bad.
Time is limited, so we do have to kind of rapid fire through it.
Yeah. Also, that's quite interesting. If you don't recognize that girl, she was on a Jubilee video where she was talking to Charlie Kirk, and she's the one where he goes, what does fetus mean in Latin? What does fetus mean in Latin? Yeah, it means little human being, which first of all isn't true. It means like offspring, or to like bring forward. So he was wrong there anyway, which is, as I always find that so funny. Every time I see that clip, I just think to myself, like, you're wrong. And I'm not saying that everyone has to know, Latin translations, but at least before you go on a channel where the point is to debate and like know stuff and be smart, like search up definitions of words that you're going to try and use as your gotcha moments, because that's not the point. But my point is, I actually disagree with her. I don't think that misandry is anywhere near as bad as misogyny, because at the end of the day, the consequences of misogyny are like women being murdered, women being killed. Like, if you look at all like the incel groups online at the moment, it's inciting violence, it's inciting harm, it's horrible stuff happening because of misogyny. Andrew Wilson's entire podcast relies on misogyny. Misandry, at the end of the day, what does it do? Actually, what does it actually do? It makes men a little bit annoyed on the internet. It hurts some men's feelings. Like in France at the moment, they actually arrested the first time ever arrested a man for, hang on, let me find it. In July, there was the first recorded prosecution charge towards an incel man for plotting terrorist attacks on women. The 18-year-old, who claimed ties to the misogynistic incel movement, was detained on Tuesday and charged with terrorism offences in France's first terror case linked to this form of gender-based violence. He was suspected of planning attacks on women and has been charged in the country's first case of terror plot linked to the misogynistic incel movement. According to sources close to the case, the suspect was arrested with 2 knives in his bag and identified himself as a member of the incel, or involuntary celibate, subculture. The incel movement is an internet subculture rife with misogyny, with men tending to blame women and feminism for their romantic failings. They typically target those whom they deem attractive or sexually active women. So basically what that article is saying is men are so disgustingly misogynistic on the internet that we've had to start arresting them because we think they're going to create fucking terrorism attacks. And you know what? They have created terrorist attacks based on misogyny. Do you remember when that man, I think it was in Sydney, he went into the mall and he killed and stabbed a bunch of people? Gender-based violence. Misogyny. Misandry doesn't make that happen. Misogyny is so much worse than misandry. So much worse. And I do like this girl. She's, I'm not on the same political wavelength as her, I don't think. But I don't understand why she said that, because it's clearly not true and she clearly knows it's not true. So either she's trying to appease a middle ground or she actually believes that, and I just disagree with her. Anyways, I'm gonna have to end this here because my laptop's about to die, and if I have to watch another fucking video of this man's face, I'm gonna probably implode. So I hope you enjoyed. Sorry if it's a bit long and rambling all over the place. My videos usually are, because I have no script and I just wing it. But yeah, thank you for watching.